Raise your glass up to the year we just survived. Battle, buddies, forever. And the headlines we discovered.
Out here. Ho, ho, ho. Sort of. Christmas is over, and by the time people are listening to this, it'll be like New Year's, right?
No, I'm going to push this one out fast.
Really?
At ease as I can get out fast.
Still, Christmas is very much over.
Yeah, Christmas is over. But before New Year's, this is hysterical for when this inevitably does not come out before New Year's.
The Parkers really edge that Christmas high.
Yeah.
They really like to edge it out
We
as
do.
long as they can.
It's Hannah's family. It's a Wells thing.
Is it?
Yeah, you know what they do on Christmas?
Tell me everything.
They eat breakfast before they open their presents.
No, they don't.
And I just sit there and I'm like, I know that I'm 35 and I can technically do this, but I don't want to, guys. Like, what the Woo!
Yeah, no, I don't even have that type of discipline.
No.
That's some military discipline.
That is military discipline. They all do it. And they're all like, yeah, because we want Christmas to last longer. I'm like, I understand.
Dang, savor the flavor.
Sure. But also, I worked really hard finding certain presents. I would like to see what I got. I would like it to get going.
Let me ask this. Was Hannah's dad typically like deployed or out
Yeah.
a lot? But so Christmas was a time where he wasn't. He was typically home.
He was not there on Christmas a lot.
Oh, God.
Like my dad. We used to do it like 4 a.m.
That's awful.
before my dad would take the shift work if he didn't have it off.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Battle Buddies. We are a military history podcast from Solano County, where we make palatable things more palatable. What does that mean? That means that we take really depressing shit and we try to make it somewhat easy to listen to.
Yeah, so today's episode, I'm Kevin, that's Spencer. And our episode today is called Merry Christmas, People Are Dead.
Oh, and then I wrote, Christmas is over, Happy New Year.
That's good.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not been, it's been a year and a half since we've done an At Ease episode.
Yeah.
If you are not familiar with what an At Ease episode here at Battle Buddies, we seldomly will take news headlines and we'll talk about headlines. We try to stay away from mainstream media headlines. However, it's been so long since I've read the mainstream media
Yep.
that I don't even know what's on there right now.
That's
So
how I feel.
we might be covering stuff that you guys have seen on. I don't think our listeners listen to CNN or Fox News, do they? If they do, email us at battlebuddiespod@gmail.com and let us know if this is all old news to you because you're so well versed in the world.
Sure. Yeah. Definitely contact us.
Yeah, so let's talk about the.
We got some stuff to talk about.
Yeah, dude, educate me.
Yeah, so I wanted to focus on Christmas miracles or lack thereof. You can decide. This one came on Christmas, and I was scrolling through Reddit, and I saw that Russia had bombed Kiev. Also, fun fact, this is just really fun. The Russian-Ukraine war has been going on for as long as our podcast.
Whoa!
Because it's 4 years of the war now. Remember, the war happened on like our second at ease, and we're like, I don't think we're going to cover this because it's happening in real time.
That's crazy.
Isn't it
bro.
crazy?
So I remember, it's funny that you say that because I remember our first episode, which I do not recommend you go and listen to, but it's on Thermopylae.
Yeah.
And I remember that there was something that happened with the Ukraine war where there was a Thermopylae moment.
Yes.
Do you remember?
Oh,
remember?
about the boat
Yes.
that said "fuck you" or
Yes.
whatever. Yeah, come and get them,
But also just the fact that Ukraine lasted as long as it did against Russia, everyone was like, holy shit.
dude. That's kind of thank you because this is the subplot of this story is looking at how the war has changed and what we can glean from it. But because we are trying to make these bitter, horrible stories palatable, we're going to try to be funny at the same time. That's not because we don't.
Keyword is try.
We don't. It's called gallows humor if you're not used to it. I feel a need to explain it just because I asked Hannah. I was like, "Hey, is it cool that I do this right now? Because people died on Christmas, and I like made a little GIF of like a Christmas tree exploding, and like, is that fine?" And then we started talking about irony, and I was like, "I think it's fine as long as people understand." I don't think a lot of us, including me, can read this stuff seriously for too long.
What is that Bo Burnham song? Is it wrong to be joking in a time like this?
Yes.
We need a white guy like me.
We do need. I don't want to sit on the sidelines.
Bingo.
So anyway, on Christmas, I saw that Russia had attacked Kiev, and so I opened it up, and the first comment was from my new favorite Redditor named Pussy Sushi. And what's great about Reddit, if you don't go on Reddit, is, and also congratulations for not going on Reddit, but
It's an interesting corner of the internet.
the best part is that you never read the usernames until somebody else points it out. Like, by the way, go look at the username. And so this one, I didn't read that his name was Pussy Sushi, but essentially right after this story was posted, he said, "Wow, I'm going to read it. If you're watching the video, you can also see it on the screen." He said, "Wow, that's fast news. Yep, can confirm a brief moment of calm right now. They threw 3 or 4 ballistics, mega-fast missiles, 4 regular caliber missiles, and 3 to 4 air-based Kinzhal missiles. That was the first wave. The second wave is expected in the early morning, with Shahed kamikaze drones reaching our country and another pack of missiles of off-strategic bombers. They usually take 4 to 5 hours to reach their shooting location because they fly from deep Russia.
Russia.
Yeah, Russia. To the borders to shoot them, and then missiles take another 1 to 2 hours to reach Kiev. Already in the bomb shelter, though. Lucky to have one. Peace and love to all the supporters of the Ukraine." And then the first comment says, "What a time to be alive. Getting war updates from Pussy Sushi on the other side of the world. Stay strong, safe, and warm."
Oh, what a time to be getting updates from Pussy Sushi. And then we got a comment from I voted for her. Some had Hemingway. We have Slava Ukraine friends. We have Pussy Sushi. It's funny they said some had Hemingway because I'm reading for I'm going to be covering the Spanish Civil War for our next one. And so I'm reading Hemingway right now.
Yeah.
The
Sun also rises and all that.
For whom
From
the
Bell
bell
tolls.
tolls.
Yep.
So it's just interesting in our Battle Buddies universe. There's a lot of full circle moments, and that was one.
There
of them.
are. Okay, so what was this bombing? What happened, and why are we talking about it? First of all,
He put his hands-
it was brutal.
Sorry, listeners. If you're not watching the video, Kevin has really
It's really tastefully
Kevin
done.
has really depressing pictures of, but he forced Santa hats on these people.
No, that's really what happened. Russia sent Santa hats.
Sorry.
I just wanted to
Hey,
hear Spencer laugh while I was
this-
talking about horrible things. It's called gallows humor.
This
good.
is how people deal. I have a
Yeah.
fucked up brain,
Yeah,
folks.
no, this is great.
All right.
So anyway, this is from the Associated Press, where I got most of my pictures from. It looks like at least one confirmed dead, 1 to 2, because there's been reports of like a man who essentially got lit on fire from it, and then people were pulled out of the rubble. It's pretty horrific.
Yeah, this looks awful.
And the reason why I put like the Santa hats on and stuff is remembering that even fighting the Nazis,
Sorry.
even fighting the Nazis during a holiday like Christmas, the sides would stop and be like, "Can we just for just
Yes.
like a couple hours?" And
Right.
in World War I, even though they weren't Nazis, they still saw each other as enemies, bitter enemies at that point, and they would stop and not like, "Can we just get our
Right.
dead friends out?"
But what about if you're a ginger? You know, gingers have no souls, right?
Sure.
And so George Washington was a ginger.
Was he?
He was a redhead? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He crossed the Delaware on Christmas, did he not?
It's true.
That's fucked up.
It is a little fucked up.
It's an American move.
As we'll see.
Sorry, go on with your. But yes, usually people would calm the fuck down for the holidays. Even,
It just doesn't. The optics are bad.
dude, even in Afghanistan, Sundays were slow.
Sure.
Like they just were.
Yeah.
Because this was a religious people, and they would do their religious things on Sundays, and subsequently Christians would also do their things on Sundays.
Yeah.
So that was like a mutual agreement that Sundays were usually relatively chill.
They're
Our
re-
officers wouldn't even come in.
I know this for some reason is a hot take, but they are related religions.
100%. They're
I don't know why that's a hot take, but
they both believe in the Abrahamic God, correct?
yeah, they both come from the Old Testament.
Well, boom. Yeah, so Sundays they're chilling. So why can't we be friends?
Yeah. Let's look at what I tried to dig into. So if you want to it's hard. The reason why we weren't covering the Russian war with Ukraine the last couple of years is the information that we're getting is so sensationalized because we are directly funding and are in the political spheres in a very public way. It's a public war, unlike some of the other things happening in like Africa, where American public opinion doesn't really sway what lawmakers and decision makers do. Right? I guess that's a fair way to say it.
It's a great way to say it, Kevin.
The other way of saying it is like we're inherently fairly racist and we care more about people in Europe that are at war. But maybe you could say Russia is more of a threat than Islamic terrorists. I don't know. Whatever you want to read it, there's a million ways you could read this.
It's true. I just recently read Homage to Catalonia. George Orwell, the dude who wrote 1984, he was in Spain during the Spanish Civil War. And literally before sorry, I'm also trying not to say literally. Before, the first thing that he says in the book is, just know that I fought on this side, which means that this is all going to be skewed towards my perspective and on this side, and I'm going to have biases.
Yeah.
Okay, enjoy my book.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
Let's just acknowledge it. Okay. So what was the types of missiles and how does the Russian military work now? If we can go back in time, like 3.5 years, when we did cover part of the Russian invasion, the beginnings of it, it looked a lot like it looked like Alexander the Great, right? It was columns, but it wasn't a huge wide. It looked just literally like a 2-car column from Russia to Ukraine.
Are we talking about the little green men?
Yeah, just like their first interaction. It was like a bunch of like APCs. Those are armored patrol carriers or whatever you want to call them, infantry carriers, a lot of Jeeps, and it looked like straight out of World War II nonsense.
And then also the little green men, right? So they had people with no insignia coming into Ukraine, and it was like, that doesn't mean we don't know that you're invading.
Yes. Anyway, and that made us think of like Cold War the Soviet Union, you know? And so the old school missiles that you think about when you think about the Soviet Union, or at least when I think about the Soviet Union, is the 9K-720 Iskanders. So those are the missiles that shoot off the back of the big trucks that you always see in, if you watch like a Jack Ryan movie or something.
No. Let me be topical.
Sure.
This looks like something out of Stranger Things.
It does look like something out of Stranger Things.
Legit.
Yes. So these are, if you ever watch Crimson Tide or Hunt for Red October, they show quick reels in the beginning of newscasters saying that tensions are heating up, and they always show like a bunch of trucks with missiles pointed up. That's the Iskander.
For sure.
Pretty long range.
It looks fun to drive, though.
It does look fun to drive. And I bet it's really satisfying watching that missile go from horizontal to vertical.
Yeah.
And then we have a little boy putting a star on the top of it. Because it's to deliver presents, because people aren't terrible sometimes. Hopefully. Okay. So that's the old school missiles. The new school missiles are so scary, and these are probably still dated. I don't know. Although I think they didn't start till like 2016, 2017, but that could still be a dated product. But what I'm talking about is the KH-47M2s.
These boys look accurate.
These are the ones that Pussy Sushi got me on. I hope you're safe, Pussy Sushi. Like, legitimately.
Shout out to Pussy.
If you contact me,
legit.
I will send you a Christmas
Dude,
present.
legit hope Pussy Sushi is okay.
Yeah. Somebody get me in contact with Pussy Sushi.
This episode is dedicated to Pussy Sushi.
He legitimately got me going down military history of Russian missiles, which was fascinating.
Stay safe, bro.
So these new ones are launched from the air, and these bombers... It's so crazy because I was thinking of Masters of the Air, where it's slow ass bombers, just like fortresses. But as it would make sense if you thought about it, bombers are supersonic now. So the bomber is going supersonic, probably drops into sonic, and then launches this supersonic missile from shorter range. And because it's so fucking fast and it's not firing from the ground up, it doesn't do the parabola. It's really hard for SAMs to get it. And so SAMs, for those that don't know, that's how it's your
surface to air missiles.
Yeah, then that it's essentially your protection. You try to use radar and you see you're like, oh, I see it, and let's target it and knock it out with whatever interceptions.
But these are so quick that you're saying that this shit gets past all that.
Yeah, and they're so if it's firing that fast from the plane, it probably has a lot of evasive maneuvers that it's
Right.
also using. It's probably not firing in a straight line.
Right. So the whole vibe is that these things are not detected by radar, and even if a radar does detect it, it's too late.
It's too late. It doesn't have as much time. Okay, so why is this all important for us? It's important for us because first before they just we got to look at the drones. So the other thing you talked about was
Merry Christmas.
the Shahed drones. Shahed drones, we did a whole episode on it.
Are these Iranian?
I think did we say they are? I think they are Iranian drones.
Either that or Saudi, something.
I'll look it up when you do your story.
Okay.
So, but we did a whole thing on Rudder's big report on drone warfare. That's fascinating.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's
That was
very interesting how
fucked
drone
up.
the long and short of the drone warfare, the way it's going to work now is that we are mixing high cutting edge tech with the lowest tech possible. Like literally,
It's IED shit.
yes, like throwing bombs with little propellers on them. Also, the most advanced computer AI technology at the exact same time.
It is a modern Molotov cocktail.
Yes. And I put this picture of Putin because Putin wore fatigues and met with some random general in a command post that they didn't disclose, and they shook hands as like, we did it. It was weird.
Oh, was that a mission accomplished moment for
It
him?
kind of was. I'll show you just a couple seconds of it. It's interesting.
It says Putin dons military fatigues to send Kyiv warning.
Shakes that guy's hand.
Now we see that people are also smart people in the West who recommend that Kyiv authorities accept decent terms for ending the conflict and provide good basic conditions for ensuring Ukraine's security.
Okay. And
What?
Yep. So we'll talk about what he's trying to talk about there in just a second. So that was Putin's kind of propaganda with it. What they're doing here is a combined arms attack, and this is reminiscent just for people to know about a creeping barrage.
Trench?
Yeah, so
Oh,
this would
man.
normally be a trench warfare technique. So normally after this, before drones, you would then send in the soldiers. And that's what we saw at the beginning of this war, is that you would do these attacks, the bombing runs, the missile runs, and your infantry would slowly, approach because you would be like bunker busting. This is how World War I finally ended, essentially. That with the tanks and a couple other things, and no food in Germany. But what happens is you would be sitting in your trench, and then your artillery would fire right over your head. And it's not, they use different types of shells. It's pretty interesting. I want to do a full hip pocket report on it at some point. But they have certain shells that blow up barbed wire and blow up debris so that you can then get your soldiers
through.
Yeah, get through. And then as you're walking through the smoke, they also throw out smoke ones.
Oh, for like a screen.
Yes. And then as you have it timed. And so then as the timer goes, you guys walk to where those ones are currently firing, hoping that your artillery is so dialed in they're going to stop right as you approach. Then you approach. As that happens, the last one flies over your head, and then they start attacking right in front of the trench of the enemy.
Sketchy, bro.
Yes.
Sketchy.
And there's horror stories when they first were dialing the stuff
They're
in.
hitting their own people.
They're hitting their own people for sure. But the reason why they kept doing it is because it's insanely effective.
Yeah, I can see that. It's like inchworming, right?
It is inchworming.
Yeah.
It is a control maneuver, right? I'm using all of my forces to slowly go. And if you do it right, you lose far less people. And that's the big problem with things like trench warfare and modern warfare is you just lose so many people. If anybody's exposed or anybody's trying to advance, you just lose them all because modern guns are so effective. Like, 50 caliber, like what's stopping the 50 caliber bullets? I don't know. Still to this day, what's stopping 50 caliber bullets successfully? Okay. There's other ways to do it too, though, that I wanted to cover, which is artillery in the covered position. It's essentially a creeping barrage. But what you do with it is that you use creeping barrages or you use combined arms to attack the target so that you can reposition yourself. And this is more what Russia's trying to do. I don't think they're directly trying to take. They're trying to cut down defenses, cause civilian casualties, which they kind of were trying to cause civilian casualties because they're fucked up, and then do something else. So what is that other thing? The other thing is their combined arms attack. So let's go through what I think their combined arms attack is now, or what modern combined arms is going to be. So what happens is they're going to shoot their cruise missiles long range. This is what they did on Christmas morning. So they started with those,
So these would be
the truck ones.
Mhm. And this would also be like your artillery back in the day from the rear, trying to like get a open
Yes.
hole for you, so you can start inching your way forward.
Yes. And while they're doing that, they then send in ballistic missiles from short range. So that was the Bunker Hill thing, right? So I'm using my long range missiles to kind of clear out
And
and
now
respond.
you're barraging them.
Yep. And now I can move some shorter range ones, some ballistic missiles, which I think they did use. So the reason why they need to have the two ranges is that the ballistic missiles have far heavier payloads.
Mhm.
And so if you can get those guys close, get them on a hill, then you can just launch them out. And so if people are responding to your long range cruise missiles, then you can get these off pretty successfully. While you're doing that, you then set up the airplanes, which is what they did. And so these ones are the ones that are actually fucking everybody up, I think. These are the new missiles we were talking about.
Yeah, those KH,
Yeah.
whatever. Mhm.
And they're brutal. But all of that is going to now just be the first part of creeping barrages. Because the next thing that's going to start happening, I think,
I mean, they do have dudes in trenches, bro.
I know.
Yeah.
but I think what happens after that, because they launch them out at the same time, but because it takes 5 hours, because you have to send, I was reading about it, you have to send most of your drone fleets from pretty far back because it takes so much infrastructure to coordinate it that you have to have them all kind of right there.
Safely away.
Yeah, and so it takes forever. So while you're hitting everything with this first attack on your creeping barrage, you just have hundreds and hundreds of mixed drones coming in a couple hours later when you're repairing, and then they are going to start decimating whatever emergency responses are happening. And I think that is, if we don't go nuclear, the future of warfare, which is weird. Makes me sick to my stomach thinking about like a modern conflict looking like this.
Well, if you look at some tiny little context clues, have you watched any of the? We'll because I was one. We'll use the Marines as an example. Have you watched within the last 5 years? 4. We'll say 4. Have you watched any of the Marine Corps commercials?
Yes, you've showed me them.
It shows them
Yeah.
using EMPs to get drones down.
Yep.
And then also using their own drones.
Yep.
So yes,
Yes.
this is the future.
This is
dude.
the future.
Yeah. At least that's what they're advertising to these young kids about joining up right now.
And what it means, I think, for us, like why it makes me especially nervous is that if you're doing this, you notice that there's a lack of personnel. There's a lack of military personnel. And if the drone targets are so deep that you can't actually hit them, we're going to be hitting civilian targets more. That's the new target, which is used to be that was collateral damage. That was if there's no real target. That's if you're a terrorist organization. But that wasn't the military's first goal. The military's first goal is usually to cut off the military industrial complex of that nation, of that force, so that you can defeat your enemy's military. But now it's going to seem like, no, it's about public opinion, and it's about terror on your neighboring civilian cities, your border civilian cities.
It's happened before.
It has happened before. I just feel like it's going to happen. It's going to be the first part of the war, not the end of the war. If that makes sense.
I see. Going straight for the jugular
We go
immediately.
straight for there.
Straight up crying babies immediately.
Yes.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, guys. So pretty scary stuff.
That is pretty scary stuff.
It's also very interesting. There's like the morbid fascination with military intelligence and military
It
technology.
is, yeah.
Just thinking about the coordination, even between the cruise missiles and the ballistic missiles, is
It
fascinating.
is, dude.
Then
It is.
throwing in a supersonic airplane, throwing out a supersonic missile, how do you coordinate that? And we like to say, Russia's so incompetent. We like to do this kind of stuff. The problem with saying somebody's incompetent is what if they punch you in the nose really hard? And then you're like, am I incompetent? No, I don't think Russia's very incompetent. I think they may have some silly things. They may have some outdated things. We have Trump as a president, so who cares? It's a wash.
Yeah.
This takes sophistication. These are generals who clearly understand what they're doing. If they can weave in multiple styles of missiles from various ranges.
Yeah, the problem is this is going to cost money.
Oh, yes.
A lot of money.
A lot of money.
Yeah, that's the problem.
So that kind of comes up to, why did they do this? I have a Zelensky quote. So, this attack is Russia's answer on our peace efforts. It really shows that Russian President Vladimir Putin doesn't want peace.
I mean, convincing.
It's a good argument. So why does that matter for us? It kind of goes back to the Putin propaganda thing that I just showed. They're supposed to have, there's going to be a big talk soon between Zelensky and Putin. And there's these forced little peacetime agreements that they've been supposedly having ceasefires. And
Right.
this isn't called a ceasefire. There's two other territories right now that Russia has said that they have essentially conquered. And Zelensky says that, no, we're still fighting you right now in there. But it is rough. And I think Canada just offered like $2 billion to Zelensky for support. There's a lot of money being thrown around. And this is why it's weird. It's so weird to think, like 4 years ago, I was like, no, this is obviously not going to work for Russia. It's kind of working for Russia. Like, they may
Really?
get pieces of territory. Because how much will all these countries want to fund? Looking at international economics is weird. And so Zelensky just got approved. I tried to understand it, but I'm an English teacher. He got funded through some international bank thing for more funding from other nations. So like, there's so many layers to this.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but at one point, did Trump not try to be like, bro, maybe you do let him have some?
I believe Trump is on that side of
Yeah.
like, let's just get this
Can
done
you
so that I
like
can say
have
it's
him
peace.
like this? Like, let him have this little chunk. Let him have this little chunk,
Which-
and then we'll give you X, Y, and Z.
Which is crazy because
I'm aware.
I feel like, in my experiences, conservatives are the first one to make fun of, like, Chamberlain for appeasement strategies in World War II. Like, no, you punch Hitler in the nose. I would never give in to him. This is how it happens. I actually respect Trump for saying, can we just, make concessions?
I know.
Because it means the conflict's over. And
Yeah.
me, as somebody who doesn't like people killing each other, which is another...
It'd be like, dude, maybe land is not that big of a deal if
Yes.
you want like kids to not die.
Yes.
And continue going to school and shit.
Right.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. But then again, it would be like if Mexico was like, hey, so the Catalina Islands are actually
Right.
ours now. And we'd be like, well,
And if Mexico had a recent history of trying to reconquer territories
Totally.
formerly lost.
and vice versa, right?
Absolutely.
Like whatever country
Whatever
you want to
country it
use
is.
as an example, you would be like, but that's ours though.
Yes.
That's ours. It's home. It's territory. It's ours. It just is.
In international law, I think about it a lot. International law is so weird because there's no teeth to it. But my layman, and I'm only a layman, so I only get some of the information, but my layman opinion is, with the information I currently have, because we were pushing for Ukraine to join NATO, and they kind of had to give that weird-ass deal with Russia to give up their nukes to do it, and then now that leaves them open to this invasion, I feel like it's more on us than we like to admit. At least, and by us, I mean everybody in NATO who was kind of hoping to get Ukraine in. Complicated as fuck.
It's very complicated. Europe's a messy area, bro. They all share that huge continent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, they share a tiny continent, but Russia owns just the biggest part.
It does.
It's so big.
Like, yeah, it does. And
It's huge.
it thinks that it has more than it actually does.
Yes. But it does have all 12 time zones.
Crazy. Huge.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Or 11 of them. It has so many time zones. Okay. Anything else on Russia?
No. It's going to be no. It's going to be something to watch in 2026. I'll
It
tell
is.
you what.
I want to know more about. I think maybe what I'll start looking at more is the pussy sushis of the world. I do want to know more about like what the civilians want. Like I hear Zelensky, I hear the political machinations and the propaganda stuff, and I understand that. But I want to know what we have the internet. Like what do average people want?
Shots at the bar, shots on the crawl across the screen. Limited action, same old movie, different scene. You toast a piece while they draw lines on desert sand. We watch it play out like it's all part of the brand. Happy New Fear, Battle Buddies. Same boom, different year. Spin that globe, blow darts at countries, then we cheer. Happy New Fear, say it louder. War on sale, price regret. We got champagne, they got oil. Call it progress. Gray zone action.
Okay. Spencer wanted me to go back to Lake Chad, and we're not, but we're gonna go nearby. So I have Google Maps up. We're actually, if Lake Chad is over here, like northeast in Nigeria, we're gonna go 600 miles to the west for some bombings that America did on Christmas.
Just FYI for those who have not been a part of our at ease
Yeah.
journey. Look, Kevin is talking about Lake Chad because every time we do these in the past, like Lake Chad be popping off
Lake
in
Chad.
Africa, folks.
It is always popping
So
up.
that's there's the context.
Yep. Okay. So in Nigeria, in the northwest, there is this area called Sokoto, and
Okay.
the U.S. carried out some strikes. I didn't really hear much about this. I had
No,
to kind of go
sir.
digging. But on Christmas, we shot a lot of missiles.
Christmas.
Yeah, on Christmas.
Specifically.
Oh, we'll talk about that part. So here is the only picture. The American government released a couple pictures. Here's one. So this is what looks like one of our boats firing off some Tomahawk-looking missiles. Yep, kind of crazy. Let's learn more about what happened.
What the fuck, dude?
Yes. So it actually sounds pretty good. The interesting part of this story is not that we bombed, and all spoiler, we bombed some terrorists. That's not the interesting part of the story. The interesting part of the story is that even though it's a joint military operation that seems to be in the works for like multiple months, I don't understand the current administration. Like in how they're alienating the people that they're operating with for multiple months, which means like contacts had to be made. People like Spencer and officers that would work with people like Spencer back in the day, they probably spent a lot of hours
Mhm.
building trust with each other
Mhm.
and coordinating times and building in strategies. And like I can't fathom modern operations with combined arms and how much planning that takes to successfully execute. It's crazy. Just getting the fuel into the missiles, like
For sure.
it's
For
crazy.
sure.
It's not easy.
The money and the logistics
Yes.
and all of the time and manpower behind all of it.
And then it gets blown up by some stupid comments. Okay, so Nigerian Foreign Minister Yusuf Matama Tugar, he told the BBC that it was a joint operation and it had nothing to do with a particular religion.
Well, that's specific.
So that comment is specific because I've heard from not many friends. I've heard from at least one friend for the last 10 years that in Africa there is a genocide against Christians. And we've covered...
What?
I know. Since college, I've been hearing people tell me this.
What?
We've covered that there have been directed attacks on Christians by Islamic terrorists.
Right, but is that a genocide?
Is that a genocide? What constitutes genocide? And perhaps not to discount this, but are Muslims also dying in equal proportions? And the answer is they're greater proportions.
Yeah.
In this exact area where they're being bombed. But I think Trump recently said that there is a Christian genocide going on in this area.
Oh, did he?
I think so.
Bummer. Somebody fact check us on that. Email us at battlebuddiespod@gmail.com.
It'll be the second thing I look up. I forgot the first thing I was supposed to look up, but I'll look up the second thing.
Never mind. But still email us.
Still
at
email us. Let us know.
battlebuddiespod@gmail.com.
We're just trying our best here. He supposedly said it. All right. Now, that's what Tugar said. So he was the foreign minister in Nigeria. Shout out to Uzo in Nigeria. She's crushing it. Go eat her food.
Uzo!
Nigeria. So most of Nigeria seems legit. I see Uzo's posts all the time. She's my friend from college. She lives in Nigeria.
Nigeria's chilling?
Nigeria, it looks fun as fuck.
Really?
Yeah. It's supposedly if you can go to a Nigerian wedding, it's going to be the day that you remember as a white boy for the rest of your life because you will have more fun than you've ever had.
It's like that.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
And that's been confirmed by a couple of my friends who've gone to see Uzo in Nigeria for weddings.
And
They
were
come
like,
back
get slapped.
nah,
Get slapped.
that was the best time I've ever had.
Okay,
like
all right.
just the dancing and the singing and everybody being nice, like the best.
Dope.
So, and I read a couple like civilian things from Nigerian people who gave quotes to BBC where I got this article from, and they're like, "No, we live a peaceful life. It's just normal for us. Like that, we saw missiles, and we've never seen missiles flying over our head. Like that's not a thing that we experience. So
Okay.
just so you're clear, we don't live in Lake Chad.
That's important.
That's important to know.
Lake Chad was, you said,
That's-
70 clicks away?
Yeah, it's 600 miles. It's
600
northeast.
miles. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So these border areas in Nigeria are pretty intense, I think.
Mhm.
Okay. Let's look at why Tugar had to say that. So referring to the timing of the strikes, which took place late on Thursday, he said that they did not have anything to do with Christmas. But then Trump told Politico they were going to do it earlier, Trump said. And I said, nope, let's give them a Christmas present.
Oh my God, dude. I'll say, dude, I scroll through X here and there.
Yeah.
It's the only social media I can actually have on my phone because it's not addicting in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
But our Battle Buddies follows all these government accounts, okay?
Yeah.
Like the White House, the Homeland Security. Bro, their propaganda is so weird.
Yeah.
This shit that they post, like even the ICE thing, they dropped this AI video of Santa Claus like deporting people, and it was like, he's making a list, checking it twice. And it was
Good.
like, what's happening right now? So it is that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Is kind of what I'm trying to say. Like I could see them using Christmas as legitimately like
Absolutely. Which is weird. Even if that bolsters the support of your base, which I guess it does.
Does it?
I
I'd be
don't know.
interested to know if you appreciate that. Email us at
Yeah.
battlebuddiespod@gmail.com and educate us.
But international politics, where we got this operation done, and like hopefully we did good. I mean, 2 nations decided on an operation to attack an extremist cell. Like I am assuming that everything is above board and that that's a good thing that we did.
Mm-hmm.
But now, like, does that mean we don't get to do that next time? Like, if we did something good here and we helped people that are living under tyranny, and then we ruin it because we were bolstering support with our base, like, fuck you. That's such a short-term gain. We want long-term,
Yeah.
success. I
Yeah.
understand that you need to score political points. Democrats do it just as much as Republicans. This seems like a weak one because Nigeria is like specifically trying to handle multiple religions and extremist groups while we're ignoring the KKK here at home. Like that kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. So here in Solano County, we have a military base here, and I would like to say I'm relatively tapped into friends that go overseas, and there is a lot of military operations currently happening with the United States.
Yes.
And I did just see, and this is good, it's a good thing, but it's usually an indication of something that Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump gave the armed services a bonus recently.
Kind of.
Okay, so that's usually a good indication that you're about to go to war, bro.
But I wanted to cover this stupid thing, but then I got so deep into the weeds with it. If you're not aware,
Okay, so
the
you
military. Well, because my brother's military. Like,
did he get a bonus?
yes, they all. It's a
Hey.
housing. It's kind of a housing. It's so weird.
Hey, more money's more money, friend.
No,
No,
it's less. It's not less money,
it's less money.
but it's interesting money.
Oh,
So it's 1776, because of course it is, because everything's propaganda.
wow.
So they got $1776.
Uh-huh.
I was under the impression, and this isn't verified, so please, if you know more about this because you did the reading, please message us. I will post a correction on our Instagram or something. That money was already going to be allocated for like housing funds or something like that. Like,
Okay,
but it wasn't necessarily going to go to every soldier, but it was already like in the pot.
but they relabeled it.
And they relabeled it, but by doing it the way they did, now it became taxable income, whereas it wasn't going to be taxable income.
interesting.
Because it was,
Okay.
there's certain loopholes for military to get some money to you guys that's not taxable for housing.
coming or going, bro.
So now that 1776 is taxable, and you
That's
gotta pay taxes
the
on it.
irony, because it was a whole like taxation without representation.
Yes, that's the-
1776 tax. Anyway, that's funny. My interpretation of that was like, you're
It
over
could
here
very-
talking about all these operations on literally Christmas Day, bro.
Well, that's like, so I
And
wanted,
December was a heavy day for. We have an entire fleet in the Caribbean right now. I
dude,
mean,
Venezuela stuff.
We're gonna get into it.
Okay, I was like, because the Venezuela oil.
Yeah, we're gonna get into
Okay,
it.
okay.
Let's talk about it.
Okay, let's talk about it.
DJ drops bangers. DJs drops bangers. News desk drops body counts. You track your drones, they track your drones. Lost and found. Support the troops on a hoodie made offshore. You skip the ad and hit replay on someone else's war. Happy New Fear, battle buddy. Same boom, different year. Spin that globe. Throw darts at countries, then we cheer. Happy New Fear. Say it louder. War on sale. Hell price regret. We got champagne. They got oil. Call it progress. Gray zone action.
Venezuela. When we first covered this, we within it was like the third or fourth episode we did.
Mhm.
I covered Maduro about 4 years ago.
Whoa.
And it was because it was an election. And there was a lot of violence going on in Venezuela at the time
Yes.
because there was an election. And
We watched that guy get murdered in the street.
Yup. And there was also a lot of drama
Or was that Mexico?
behind. It was Mexico.
Yeah.
That's okay though. There was a lot of drama behind who the United States president was going to say was the rightful president.
Right.
So it was between Maduro and like Guaidala was his name. I'm sorry, I'm butchering that. But long story short, 4 years ago, the elections were pretty not fair elections. And it was obvious that it was meddled elections. And the reason that we here at Battle Buddies were like, well, why is that important? Why does the world care about that? And we said, turns out that Venezuela has the largest oil reserve.
Every international boy I met from Venezuela came from oil families.
Really?
Yeah, in Long Beach.
Oh,
Long
that's
Beach is like
right, you
international
said
capital.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And I would say like, oh, it was a one-off, but I knew like 5 or 6 of them, and they all came from like oil families and then they were going to get the better life. Yeah.
Because the majority, that's interesting that you say that, because the majority of the refugees in Venezuela go next door to Colombia.
Oh, I see that.
Like
Yeah.
7 million of them.
Sure.
The majority, and then another majority go to like Peru. So going to the United States would be very difficult as a Venezuelan, just so we're clear. It's not
Yes.
like Venezuelans are like, let's go to the US. Not happening, dude. That's
No.
difficult.
You're not getting on a raft.
No. We got a bunch of like
That's
islands in the
open
way.
ocean.
Yeah, dude. You have an entire it's deep. So for those who don't know, also, if you have not listened to our World War Flashpoints episode, I
Yes.
went into something called gray zone tactics.
Yes.
And that would be important information to learn about. I did go at it from the context of China trying to take over Taiwan, which was really interesting.
Yeah, and that's what's happening here, right?
Dude,
it's not
dude,
us taking
dude,
over another place, right?
Right. So, long story short about gray zone tactics, but again, if you want to know more about it, go listen to our World War Flashpoints episode. But it's all a part of trying to use propaganda and interdict things going on in the ocean around a country so that you can manipulate a narrative.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I was saying was that for like Taiwan, right? Because Taiwan is in the South China Sea, that China would take over these ships and be like, you guys aren't paying taxes
Yep.
for these, right? Like for these trade routes in the South China Sea. So we're going to take over your boats. And then they would making sure cameras are rolling, being like, look at these ships. They're not following the rules. That's why we had to take them over. And the world goes, wow, that's so crazy that Taiwan's not following the rules. And it provides this narrative that they're fucked up, right?
Right.
Similar situation here going on in Venezuela is as of the 21st, we have been in pursuit of our third oil rigger.
Tell us why we can attack these oil riggers.
Well, so it's because of these international laws in the ocean.
Whose international laws?
Well, that's the problem.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. Is China and the South China Sea interprets that land as theirs.
Yep.
Same kind of thing going on in the United States. But we found out from that episode that we did years and years ago about the South China Sea that I think it's like 8 nautical miles outside of your country is like yours, right?
Right.
Then there's that like little 2 nautical mile zone that's like the Coast Guard can kind of go out there, but it's a little bit of a gray area. And then outside of that is international waters, and things are going to get a little bit spicy out there,
Yeah.
right? And that's kind of what's happening over here is that the United States is running this narrative that these oil riggers are trying to bypass certain parts of the ocean so that they
Some
don't
shipping
have
lanes.
Yep, some shipping lanes so that they don't have to pay a certain amount of taxes. And
To America.
to the United States.
It's
So-
really important that people hear it like
Yes.
that.
So we are saying, okay, then we are going to take over your your oil rigs, and we are going to say that you guys are the ones doing the wrong thing, and that this is justice in action.
Here's how I learned it. Okay, American soldiers just took the tanker, and then I watched the video, and I was like, Jesus Christ! It is the straight modern warfare
Call
shit.
of Duty.
Like
Call
they
of
just
Duty,
jumped
bro.
out and took it over, and I was like, wait, that's bad. We're the baddies. And then somebody said, no, a court ordered it that a while ago that we could do this, and I was like, okay, wait, which court? And then it said an American court. I'm like, well, why does that like? How can an American court decide that we can take a Venezuelan tanker?
Yeah.
And then like keep reading, and you're like, oh, because we have the strongest navy, we just make the rules when we want to.
Dude, can't a bunch of boats surround it, and then they could be like, hey, get on your radio, we're going to have a conversation. Like, how many times in literally like Star Trek,
Yes.
you have like Captain Picard being like, get him over the screen, let me have a conversation with him. He's not like, let's immediately
Yeah.
take over their ship. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they supposedly had a warrant.
But again, dude,
But whose warrant?
Yeah, that doesn't
It does
really
not make
mean
it better.
anything.
So I just mean, I feel like for the modern American, if we do enough research to get that far, then we're like, what?
Okay, so meanwhile, right?
Sure.
After these oil riggers, not only is that happening, we have done strikes on these boats. They're calling them narco terrorists, right? So they're bringing in cocaine
Okay.
into the United States, and we've performed eight strikes on these boats, killing, I want to say, about 79 or 80 people.
Crazy.
What's interesting to me about this is like, cocaine, dude? Is what you guys are worried about? Like, isn't fentanyl
Isn't fentanyl the
killing more human beings right now in the United States than cocaine? Like, I looked up the data because I was
Yeah.
interested, and yeah, by a large number,
Yes.
the amount of overdoses and things that are happening are fentanyl based. So for
cocaine
me,
just makes you insufferable.
dude,
I'm just kidding. Cocaine's very dangerous.
don't do cocaine. You'll be talking until 2 a.m. and you'll be forced to take shots so you can go to bed.
Yeah.
From what my friends tell me. So, it's a bit of a stretch for me to call people like narco terrorists. Do I think that people should be smuggling cocaine into our country? No, but isn't that what the Coast Guard does? They call it what? Intercepting, interdiction. That's what we do anyway. So I'm confused. What's changed from the Coast Guard getting cocaine to like us being like, let's just bomb them?
It's crazy that how quickly we are going from this is now the problem we want you to focus on to we're definitely getting ready to invade.
Yeah,
Like that's crazy.
No, dude. It's literally called Operation Southern Spear.
Yeah.
It is we have an aircraft carrier down there, dog. Like we are doing, we are spending $6.5 million a day, running that ship alone. When all is said and done, after December is over, we will have spent trillions of dollars in the Caribbean Sea, just so we're clear.
Crazy.
Just so we're clear. Kevin and I, a while ago, we were going to do like a mishaps thing.
Yes.
And part of that journey for me was I read a book by Smedley Butler called War is a Racket. And this is one of the most decorated Marines of all time. He's got 2 Medal of Honors. And then after his Marine Corps career, he spent his life writing books and talking publicly about how war is just there to make people profitable, profit people. And so he kind of started realizing this when he was sent down to the Banana Wars.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, so the United States is a little upset about the fact that these countries are getting bananas for this price and we're not getting, and they were like, so the United States was like, we're going to take care of these bananas and these bananas are just ours. And he's like, but that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like you're just saying that just because it's not convenient for you, so you have to pay more money for these bananas, and that's what this is giving.
It's definitely giving that.
It's giving United States is like, oh, there's a bunch of oil here. Let's go ahead and be concerned about this. Now, did you hear that Venezuela got a bunch of drones from Iran that here, let me go to the next. Sorry. Drones from Iran that have that are within 600 miles of the Venezuelan coast, and they can hit all of our bases right there.
Nope, but those are probably Shahed drones.
Yeah, there's these drones that they got from Iran that can go up to I think like 600 miles. Right? Yeah, it's crazy, bro. And also, Russia is helping Venezuela. So Venezuela has teamed up with Iran and Russia to help them fight in the Caribbean Sea. So this is not gonna necessarily go away.
No.
Dude, and another thing, Trump came out and put up a bounty on Maduro, a public bounty on Maduro, bro.
Why?
Like that, because that's the narrative that he's trying to say. He's trying to do. This is also giving Iraq,
This is giving Iraq for
like
sure.
a
Weapons of mass destruction.
and a what's it called? Change, a regime change. He
Yeah.
wants to change the leader there, because they want what's more beneficial for them because it's the world's largest oil reserve. Let's just call a spade a spade.
I know. If there is a different reason, I would like to know it.
Yeah, not good. It's not great. Narco-terrorism and oil, huh? But they're going for it. They're sending us cocaine.
It's weird because I thought, I'm so worried about the isolationist mentality that we've been pushing for the last 3 years, in our culture. And I've been saying this on our show that going straight from the global linchpin, forcing ourselves to become the global linchpin for so many conflicts, to then becoming an isolationist will create a vacuum, and that's don't do that now. I'm all for that 50 years ago, but we have to be careful doing that now. And so we're now trying to become isolationists, but now we're randomly attacking bombers and stuff. That's not. You make enemies when you become an isolationist, right? If you isolate, you will become an enemy because you're not participating as much in global trade. And then to then also be attacking things you're asking for trouble for your friends and your family.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
Maybe
not-
there's something more going on that I don't understand. I'm sure there's
I would-
many more things going on than I understand.
Truly, but it does seem very pirateering for the Queen, is what this feels like.
It does
Using
feel
the
like
Navy
a
is
privateer.
it seems like privateering for the Queen. It seems very aristocratic. Go out and get my oil riggers and my cocaine smugglers.
Civ 7 did release Edward Teach, who's Blackbeard,
Oh, nice.
and it's a lot of fun being a pirate.
How is Civ 7?
It's getting so much better.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that when it first came out, everyone was like, wait for the updates.
It was really bad. But it's good now. I like it. I play it now.
Ten, 9 bodies on a scroll. 8, 7, oil in the bowl. 6, 5, someone pulls a pin. 4, 3, ratings rolling in. 2, 1, confetti in your hair. They get dust and diesel air. Kiss your date, fix your crown. Someone's kid ain't making it back to town.
Hey, dude. Aliens are real, bro.
I'm ready for it.
My wife and I watched this documentary called The Age of Disclosure. Have you heard about this?
No.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Oh. Yeah, we rented it. I think it's out in theaters right now in some theaters.
It's our disclosure era.
Dude. Kinda. Dude, so for listeners, we had an episode called Off the Beaten Path, and we talked about when David Grush and those two naval pilots spoke in front of Congress.
It was a really fun episode.
It was a really fun episode. And so I kind of want us to re-enter that conversation a little bit and kind of talk about the things that have happened since we've had that episode, right? So for listeners who've been living under a rock and don't talk about UFOs or aliens, first of all, like, what's wrong with you, dude?
It's
That's
super
like
fun.
literally one of my favorite subjects on planet Earth and beyond.
I was say, and the moon.
But the David Grush and a bunch of veterans came forward about 2.5 years ago, I would say.
Yeah.
And essentially said they were whistleblowers. There's been a bunch of people in the intelligence community and the military community that are whistleblowing, saying that their government knows a bunch of information about UAPs and UFOs, and the American people deserve to know. And it's been really cool. One of the coolest things about it is this is kind of like a bipartisan issue.
It is.
It is literally one of the only things that I've seen where everyone kind of sets their politics aside and realizes that this is more of a human thing than it is a right versus left thing.
Yep.
So this documentary is pretty cool. It shows all of Marco Rubio is in it. It shows a lot of people currently in politics talking about kind of where we're at with the UFO and UAP thing and what the process is to get all of this information disclosed. And one thing that you'll find that's annoying as fuck, and this is what I ran into being in the intelligence community in the Marine Corps, was there's a lot of other agencies that hoard their information.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, that's kind of how like 9/11 happened.
Yes.
It was the FBI and the CIA master jerking to their own information and not wanting to share. And then we got attacked and lots of people died and went to a pretty useless war because of it.
Yep.
Now, one thing that was interesting that I genuinely was like, holy shit, I did not know that this movie talked about was the birth of the United States Air Force was started because of the CIA. The CIA was kind of the one who wanted there to be an actual military branch that focused on the air.
Okay.
Because of all of the UAP things that were happening in a post-nuclear...
I was like, it's post-World War II stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so it was becoming... So we have that and the Department of Energy. The Department of Energy, the CIA, and the United States Air Force have all been working in tandem to keep this information between themselves.
Oh, okay.
But that's why it's interesting that the United States Navy has been pretty forthcoming about this information.
The Navy's dope.
The Navy is dope.
The Navy's just kind of like that.
Dude, they were like, yeah, I was flying a jet and I saw a UFO. And the Air Force is just kind of like, shit, the ocean's not our jurisdiction. So it's been cool to kind of see a lot of Navy pilot veterans come out and just be like, I don't give a fuck, dude. Like these veterans are true heroes and putting their lives on the line. There's a guy in this documentary that's like, one of the reasons I'm in this movie is because if I die, I want people to know that's because I have this information. So.
I love Navy pilots that have talked. They're all like that. What did that senator call him? Whatever. You're a gold star veteran. Like you could not have more clear credentials.
Totally.
And that's why I'm listening to you. That's what that guy said. I was like, well, yeah.
But
fair.
this documentary did make me have more empathy for Air Force vets because they don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Like you can't talk about it.
Yeah.
You legit can't. And I'm sure, and I would love to hear if you are an Air Force veteran, which we know a lot, feel free to hit us up on whether it be Instagram or email us at battlebuddiespod@gmail.com. But there's so many stories about Air Force veterans, normal ass dudes on tarmac, just looking up at the sky and being like, yeah, we saw some crazy shit.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of those in this documentary. I highly recommend it. It's chock full of veterans talking about their experiences, a lot of whistleblowers. One of the things that they came out with that was cool in this is they showed some new footage that a Navy pilot took of these UFOs going in and out of the water without changing their acceleration or speed. And so they go into this theory that all these like top scientists that worked for the Pentagon and things like this said that based on the information of what they know, This Tic Tac, this
Yep.
UFO, essentially has the ability to change space time around it.
Sure.
And because of that, we don't know if it is technology from another world or technology from a different time.
Yeah, if it's like intra-dimensional,
Yeah.
interdimensional,
Yeah.
extra. Yeah.
Or from the future.
Yep.
And one thing that seems to be interesting, and this is why the documentary was made, was because they do believe that it is a national security thing.
Yeah.
And the reason is because the only thing that they seem to be truly interested in is our nuclear weapons.
Sure.
Like, so they have all these veterans talking about, in the Cold War, we used to launch weapons all the time to test them.
Yeah.
Because you have to. They're not capped with nuclear weapons yet, but we are testing them. And then we would also test nuclear weapons in the New Mexico desert and shit like that.
Yeah.
Crazy shit, right? So they have veterans on there talking about, like, we had these cameras that we had to take pictures of these rockets going off so that we could measure the angles, making sure that they were actually flying at the trajectory that we were
Right.
wanting the computer to fly at that trajectory. And they have these pictures of these UFOs that will come in as rockets are going off. Take a picture from this angle, go under the rocket, take a picture from that angle, go to the other side of the rocket, do like 360 degree pictures, and then take off. And so they're like, okay, so hypothetically speaking, let's say that China has that capability.
Right.
They have the capability to move space-time so that they can take pictures of our rockets as they're leaving our
Yeah, they have some
silos.
warping factor.
Like, that's crazy, bro. So that's one thing that they're talking about as far as national security is concerned.
Because even if it's, so some people get, as soon as it starts getting out of bounds of reality, like known reality, people start, their eyes glaze over and stuff. Even if it's within the bounds of your reality, even if it's just a frictionless ship that has a briefcase nuke powering it, and somehow they've optimized steam off hot rocks, and they're able to go that fast. Still, that's the greatest security threat we've ever experienced before.
Correct.
Right? Like, even if
Correct.
it's that.
Correct. So there's a lot of confusion and just question marks about nuclear power and
Mhm.
what those UAPs are interested in. I mean, it's just very interesting that
It is
specifically
interesting.
our military is the ones that are involved with these encounters.
We need a good whistleblower. David Gresh, unfortunately, we had
6.5, bro.
we had such high hopes for him. And we knew it. We called it. I think in that episode, we're like, listen, he may not work out for us because he's already starting to say, I can only talk about that with you in a skiff.
which is that's
Which is
nothing.
That just
Yeah.
means that he doesn't want to say it. And then he started being less good.
So I have just a little interesting kind of like Battle Buddies Spencer perspective on all of this
Ready.
kind of going on. Have you watched the preview for the new Steven Spielberg movie?
No.
Okay, so it's called The Day of Disclosure.
Okay.
Do you want to watch it?
Sure.
Pull that shit up. Pull that shit up. While you're pulling that up, let me talk. So, for those of you who don't know, in this documentary, a lot of them were literally having people in there that they've encountered, right? And they were talking about their experiences. And a lot of them were making like, hey, have you seen the movie Close Encounter of the Third Kind? So this is another Spielberg movie.
I love that movie.
All right. So a lot of people in that documentary we're watching were like, yeah, that Close Encounters of the Third Kind Steven Spielberg
Love that
movie.
movie.
There was shit in there that was basically exactly what I saw. So there's a lot of like
Yeah.
conspiracy. This is a conspiracy theory. Whatever, that's fine. But it seems like a lot of movies and media in that way have been softening what will be the inevitable blow of
Sure.
information that is coming. And it's interesting to watch these folks like Marco Rubio on this documentary, this Age of Disclosure, be like, hey, yeah, so every 4 years when people like me change, there's people that are in the government that have been having that same job for 30 years that
Yeah.
know a lot of information, that are keeping that information between these people that are staying in government for long, long, long time. Presidents come and go, dude.
Yep.
Secretary of States come and go, and they don't really get read into this information that these people who are whistleblowing are now being like, this is what I saw and this is shit
Yeah.
that's happening. So pretty interesting time.
It's very interesting.
With this movie coming out called this Disclosure Day, it just makes me wonder if Spielberg's trying to tell us something, if that's the government's way of trying to soften the blow before they tell us something.
Or the collective unconsciousness.
For
Right.
real.
I feel like that's like a huge thing.
It is a thing.
When you look at sci-fi writers of the 50s anticipating what computers were going to eventually become, and you're like, damn, they're pretty close. Not all of them, and so I don't think they were all being fed that information, but I think, good deduction paired with paying attention to discourses and what's happening, that some people kind of tap in for a minute and they're like, yeah, this is the way that I would deduce it.
Yeah.
And then they kind of perceive it.
Yeah. So it's been an interesting living in the age of information that we live in. We're within the next couple of years going to have, I think, a lot of interesting disclosures. And when disclosures are redacted in the way that they're redacted, such as like the Epstein files right now,
God damn it.
the public just does. They're not as stupid as I think that everyone wants to give them credit for. Everyone's like, these are redactions. This is stupid. Someone's tampering with this. Like,
Yes.
I don't know. People aren't babies, bro.
That's what I was saying about we should not call Russia incompetent. They clearly have a military complex. We should not call the American people dumb. That's what, we live in a very liberal state. A lot of people are super anti-Trump and all this supporters. But I hate when they start calling all Trump supporters idiots. Like, no.
That would be like calling that's like one thing I have a problem with when people are like, oh, Christian, like religion's dumb, so therefore all people who are religious are dumb. It's
absolutely.
like, nah.
It's a fallacy.
It is a fallacy.
You didn't follow modus ponens or modus tollus.
Yeah. So from all of this, for people who are like, okay, cool, so all these people are coming out and all these documentaries are happening, like, what does it mean? Some things, dude, are actually legitimately happening. The United States government, I'll give them credit, dude. The Pentagon has started this website called the All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. You guys can check it out if you want to.
That's a terrible name.
Yeah, AARO. But it's the Pentagon started this website here. It's a database where you can...
No, a nerd made this website.
Which is good. We need more nerds to make websites like this.
But not names. Nerds should not make names of committees.
They have up there the congressional press products, so it's telling you everything that the government's doing to actually...
I do like that.
Yeah, and then you can go into these UAP cases and UAP records, and you can watch all the unclassified government videos of UAPs. Dude, me and Aaron were watching something earlier. I was no shit. It's pretty interesting.
Okay.
I mean, also, my wife and I were in the hot tub last night, and we were just staring at the sky. It was a beautiful sky last night. We've had rain and fog for so long that the sky was just gorgeous last night, super clear. And we were like, dang, dude, let's just stare at the sky for a while and see what we see.
Yeah.
Dude, so last night, we fucking saw a triangle of this. We were like, are we stupid? Are these just stars? Bro, one what looked like, I guess you could call it a drone / star, and then we'll call it, I don't even know how to explain in these terms, but you could see a triangle of these different stars, right?
Yeah.
And then we stared at them and they were flashing, and then they would go like this. And I was like, bro, it's a drone, right? It would just subtly move, and we're like, these are drones. And then we're like, okay, well, so if they're drones, they'll run out of battery within the next 15 minutes. Nope, just chilling there, making subtle movements every once in a while. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Is that a satellite?
Yeah.
What's happening? So, hey, I say this, friends. Instead of staring down at your phone every once in a while, take a look up.
Whoa.
Look up at the sky, dude. There's some crazy shit going on up there. I'm not saying I saw a UFO. I'm saying I don't know what the fuck's going on up there.
Yeah.
And neither does the Air Force. That's what I say about it. Hey, you know how Spotify Wrapped has a thing about 2025? I figured we could do this.
I like this.
This is whenever we do these episodes, I always go on the CFR.com, or I think it's .org, but it's a Council for Foreign Relations, and then I go on CSIS, which is the Center for Strategic Intelligence Services. These are both nonprofit organizations that produce intelligence, declassified intelligence sources for the public, and they're dope as fuck. But anyway, they submit this thing called Conflicts to Watch in 2026, which was just hilarious
That's
for me. It
such
was
a
like,
dumb
yeah, it's such a like a Spotify rap.
Yeah.
Like, hey guys, here's the conflicts to look out for in 2026.
We need to build engagement.
They went through their methodology and they showed how they came up with all this, but I'm not going to bore our audience with that. So, things to look out for as we look forward to 2026. You know that West Bank, Palestine? What is it? 60,000 people have died so far?
There's so many.
Keep your eyes on that. Gaza is also fighting Hamas.
Yep.
Great. Israeli and Hamas getting down in Gaza. Look out for that. Kevin was just going over the Russia, Ukraine with everything going on there. That looks like that's going to be popping off soon. U.S. military operations targeting transitional criminal groups escalate in Venezuela. That's what I was talking about. And then it says, and this is one of the top ones, growing political violence and popular unrest in the United States. And I got to agree with that.
Yes. We need to freaking cool down America.
I would say this. I wonder, though it has not obviously been declared, but like, are we in a world war right now? Are we? Like, we have aircraft carriers deployed to the Caribbean Sea for Operation Southern Spear. We got shit going on in Venezuela. We got shit going on in Ukraine, Russia. We got shit going on in Israeli Palestine. I saw that North Korea's got, they just got some nuclear weapons. Shit's going off there. Shit's going off in Nigeria.
They supposedly have a nuclear submarine.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
But
anyway, I'm just wondering. Email us at battlebuddiespod@gmail.com. Are we at war?
Well, it's like the Dan Carlin. If not now, when? Tell me when to be worried.
Yeah, that's what I would like to know.
When should I be worried?
I'm seeing a bunch of youngsters joining the military, but then there's reasons to join, bro.
There are reasons.
It's funny because you
get out of Vacaville.
Dude, at the gym the other day, we were listening to this kid. He's like, "Oh, I'm joining the Navy," and all of his friends were like, "Have fun in war, bro. Have fun."
Yeah.
Because they're scrolling through their TikToks and they're seeing all the same shit I'm seeing. Anyway,
that was really fun. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Happy New Year. Yeah, dude. Thank you for listening to us. We appreciate you guys. We rarely do At Eases. Hopefully this was interesting and fun to listen to and you had some laughs along the way.
Yeah.
Either Kevin or I will be coming up next with a pretty fun little
Yeah, I don't know which one of us is going next.
Whoever finishes first.
Ooh, I like that. Okay.
Yeah, look forward. Do you want to tell them what you got going on or no?
Nope.
Okay. Roger that. Well, it's going to be exciting and it's going to be topical. And Battle Buddies we just got our ear to the ground, bro.
It's fun.
Yeah, dude. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to sign off by saying so it goes. But you can all right. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you for listening to us. And until next time, so it goes.